Oh, it is a V-nickel. Sweet. Oh, 1894, baby. Well, it's Labor Day, and I pretty much stayed inside and relaxed in the morning, but I really have the itch, you know. I want to go back to that property and take another look, and the people there are so nice. They're like, yeah, whatever, come by. So, I guess I'm going to head over there. There is a challenge rating, though. It's 91 degrees and super muggy on top of that, so it feels much hotter. I think today we're going to stick to the woods because it's shady in there. I am going to sweat like nobody's business. Oh well, here we go. History awaits. Whew, been here a while. It's very hot. But finally got a target. Looks like it's a musket ball that was fired, it hit something, and it's all flattened out. Have a look. I think that's it. That's what it looks like to me. Big old musket ball that splatted on something. It's all perfectly flat on one side, see? About the right weight for it, too. It's definitely lead. Well, there's a piece of history for you. That's pretty cool. Whew. Let's keep going. Whew. Well, I just got a signal. I thought for sure it was going to be a bullet, 74.75, but turned out to be a large coin. Unfortunately, the forest floor has not been kind to this coin. There it is. It's very hard to make out any detail on it, but here on the side, right there, I think I see 3 stars. 1, 2, 3. See the little dots? I think those are stars. And based on the spacing of them, I'd say that would make this a braided hair large cent. But I'm not certain. It's very thin. That could be because of the wear. And on the... That could be because of the wear, but on the back, if this was a large cent, braided hair or matron head, there'd be a wreath. And I don't know, sometimes I think I can faintly make out some leaves of the wreath there. And, you know, obviously I don't see a date anywhere on this coin. So, I don't know, I'm going to tentatively say it's a possible braided hair large cent, but I'm not certain at all. This coin is so destroyed and so hard to recognize that I think I'm going to use a strong cleaner on it. I know generally you don't do that, but this coin has no value in this condition, and I want to know what it is. Anyway, so at least we found a large old copper. And I'm pretty sure this one's a coin. I'm not going to complain. I'm happy. Whew. Alright. God, it's hot out here. Let's keep it going. You know, it's amazing the things you find on old farmland. What a weird experience this has been. Now, right here on the ground, I was getting a super high tone. Nice, solid, repeatable 8081, 4 inches. Thinking to myself, hey, maybe I've got a silver dime. Maybe just a copper penny. No, it's this. You see that? It's a loop, probably a brass loop. And it's got a little bit of leather strap and a rivet in the strap. That's a piece of a harness. So I was like, that's cool. I like finding, tack and harness kind of stuff. And then I glanced up here, and right here, there's still a little piece of it there. See that? I saw a leather strap just sticking out of the dirt here. There's a little tiny piece of the leather strap. And I started pulling it out, and it started coming out in chunks. And before I knew it, I had all these pieces of leather straps. So then I started to think, maybe there's an entire harness in here. And then this piece of strap came out with a D-buckle on it. I'll take that. And then this popped out. Can you guess what this is? Now, I'm not 100% sure myself. I think it's a yoke for oxen. See, it's got this big thing here that a rope hooks on, and these other rings to hook ropes on. And I think this is mounted between 2 oxen, and the rope coming from this would be attached to the plow. The farmer would use this to plow the ground. This would be the yoke. Why am I zoomed in? I'm sorry. There you go. There we go. Check it out. A yoke. At least I think that's what it is. See, here's this big ring on a post. See that? And that would go through, right through there. And the other one's still lodged in there. Isn't that neat? And as I glance around here, I see other little bits of leather sticking out of this hillside. So, I think if I came in here with a nice, something, a bigger digger, a big shovel and maybe a hand rake, probably could find more of this harness. Look, there's some straps. See that? There's a metal bit of something. There's a big metal wire. Could be part of a handle. It's just in this pile of rocks. This is pretty common, actually, for farms, to just find stuff that the farmer threw away and just tossed into the woods. These rocks are interesting. Look at that one there. Shaped like a bowl. Isn't that strange? I wonder if it's been manually shaped that way by, like, Native Americans or something at one time. And then just ended up in this rock pile. Whew. Well, anyway, I believe I found a yoke. I guess if it turns out not to be a yoke, the yoke's on me. Sorry. I'm going to have to cart that out of here. I just happened to cross these. There's this nice little one. Or Labaree's Liniment free sample. This is the free sample bottle. And then there's this one. Terrio's French Indigo Bluing. My guess is this used to contain blue dye, maybe for cloth. Reg US Pat Off, or Certo. And then on this side, it says for half bottle, pour to here. I don't know what this was. But look at that, it's not a screw top. Alright, I'm going to poke around in here a little bit longer, and then I'll get back to detecting. I'm back in this little bit of paradise. Over here in this field again. And I just dug what I believe to be a very fancy cane handle. I'm not sure that's what it is, but I think that's what it is. It's very, very stylish. I think it attached at this point on something, and you can see it was hollow inside. But it really, to me, when I look at it, when I put it in my hand, it really looks like exactly what you would want if you were gripping a cane handle. Maybe the other way around. Like that. Right? Imagine a post coming off of that, see? That's really, really cool. Man, the surprises that come out of this ground. Wow, that's so neat. I'm tired. Alright, let's go over the finds. Alright, so, a lot of finds today. I got a few nice bottles, plus this little one. This one's cute. It says free sample on it. I like that. Labaree's Liniment free sample. That beautiful cane head. Don't know what that is. Bunch of shotgun shells. Rivet on a piece of leather. That is a stud from a harness, I think. I say this because it fell out of a piece of leather when I picked it out of the ground. This, I'm not sure. I think that might be a Bale Seal. And we have a bullet, and then we have an old musket ball that was fired and hit something. Base of a lantern. A horse ring, a couple bullets, bullet casing, broken up harmonica reed, a pocket knife, a bunch of buckles and pieces of yoke and harness. We got a modern dime there. We've got this large coin. We don't know what it is. Maybe a braided here. It might be too small. Might be an English coin of some kind. I'll have to do some research on that one. And then we have these yokes. This is the big one. And this ring is still attached. The other ring is one of those over there. And we have this little one. And notice how on this one the hook and the rings are brass. And the rest of the yoke is iron. See the difference? See the difference in the color of the metal? I think that's cool. And there's still some leather on it. And then there's this one, this little tiny one. Right? See? And I think one of those rings came from this one too. And then there's this giant thing. I do not know what it is. But it looks like it went through a strap, you know, on a buckle, and I'm not sure what it was. I assume it's for animal power. You know, you strap this onto an animal and then you hook something to it and the animal pulls it, I guess. I do not know what it is. Maybe someone on ID Me can help me out. And then we had the work. There's always work. But that's not bad for a couple hours. I spent most of the time in the woods, where I found all these yokes and the bottles and the lantern, and then later in the day I moved out into the field, and that's where I picked up some of the shotgun shells and the cane top and the pocket knife and the modern dime. A large coin came out of the woods, so I don't know what that is. So, I wanted to clue you guys into some, for those of you who are detectorists or thinking of becoming, I want to clue you into a couple of products that my friends have told me about and show you what they can do. The first one is this stuff. Mink oil paste. Now, it's very, very unusual for detectors to recover something made of leather. We would find something metal and then find a piece of leather attached. And it's very, very rare for a piece of leather to actually survive, but in some conditions it can. As you'll remember, in episode 3, I dug this huge horse buckle, and it was in some dry dirt inside of a barn. And this leather belt that was on the buckle had completely dried, you know, sort of dried out in that soil, but had remained intact. And I tumbled the buckle, restoring that nice brass color to it. Post is made of iron. And then, using mink oil, I was able to restore all the flexibility and pliability to this belt. Isn't that nice? So now I have this nice display piece with some 100-year-old leather that spent decades in the soil, all dried out, and now it's nice and soft. So that mink oil is pretty good stuff if you have to restore or protect old leather. The other product is something my friend Tracy turned me on to. It's this stuff. It's called Renaissance wax. This is for metal objects. You can get this on like Amazon and stuff like that. And it stinks. By which I mean, it stinks. But it does a really good job. It brings out detail and it puts a protective layer over the thing you want to preserve. For example, this is the compact that I dug very recently at the 1760 property, which I unfortunately mangled with the shovel. I've done my best to straighten it out. But just cleaning it with soap and water and using the Renaissance wax, I can now read the logo that was on it that I couldn't see before. And there's just this sort of, when I touch it, it doesn't feel greasy, but I can feel that it's very, very smooth and that the wax has sort of filled in all the little pocks and is protecting it. The logo says Palmer's Garden Glow. Palmer's Garden Glow products began in 1913. So this comes right from the Art Deco era, before the Great Depression. They have been used by a flapper girl who lived on that farm. I finished cleaning all the bottles that you saw me find in the previous episodes. And this also includes a few bottles that I picked up in much earlier episodes. There's the aluminum cup from the 1900 house, and this was from the historic park I did many episodes ago. May have even been before I started the YouTube channel. But most of these are from the 1760 property, and they came out pretty good. They look nice and clean. I'm convinced that this is Depression-era glass because it's lavender and it has all those little bubbles in it. See them? Little bubbles in there. So those cleaned up awfully nice. Oh, and in the Riker mount territory, this is my Civil War Riker mount, and it's coming along nicely. I can't be certain that those two buttons are from the Civil War, or that ring is, except that I dug it up right next to this, which is an artillery button, and this I haven't identified yet. I'm keeping it in this mount for now, but the rest of it is all musket balls and pistol shots and Civil War buttons and the Civil War artillery fuse. So this is coming along nicely. And then this Riker mount here is all stuff from the 1760 property, except for one item. These are all things from the 1760 property. You can see we've got a bunch of beautiful flat buttons, the convex button, the flower button, the quill, which dates to 1880, the fountain pen nib, excuse me, I keep calling it a quill, shoe buckle fragment, toe tap, porcelain button, 1700s cufflinks, pewter spoon, don't know what that is, razor, knife blade, lead splat, some nails, don't know what that is, keyhole escutcheon, thimbles, don't know what that is, buckle, big dandy button, harmonica reed, and this item actually came from the 1876 farm. That's that riding crop handle. Very lovely. And when I finish cleaning the cane head that I got yesterday, it'll probably go right there, right above that riding crop. So things are coming along nicely in the restoration and the display department of my hobby. Of course, my back porch is a mess. That sort of goes with the territory. My wife is very nice. She just puts up with it. These things I haven't really done anything with yet. I've got the big horseshoe and the game horseshoe, the buggy step, big old axe head, foot valve, rims from wagons, old oil can, another piece of a horseshoe. There's a little toy gun. I actually did clean that up. This is not the one you saw me found. This one was one I found earlier in the year. Another item found earlier in the year. There's a couple bullets there. Oh, and the Yokes. I haven't done anything with them yet. So, you know, where this thing, I haven't even identified this yet. So, that stuff will take a while. So, why don't we pause for a second so I can get set up, and then we'll dump out the tumbler and you can have a look at some of the stuff I've recently found and how it looks coming out of the tumbler. Okay. Okay, now today we had a lot of rusty items in the tumbler, a lot of rusty iron, so as you can see the fluid in there has taken on a distinctly rusty brown color. But let's go through anyway and see what we can pull out of there. First thing I see is this little wheel that I thought might be a pulley wheel or a toy wheel. I suspected it was brass, and it looks like it has acquired a nice brassy shine. Yeah. This was a brass wheel, or something made of brass. I'm not sure. There might be some markings in there, some writing, don't know. It's interesting. Okay, set that aside. And then these are pieces of the Yokes These are those circles that go on the side. See, there's one still attached to that one, and then one missing. This is probably one of the missing ones. That came out nice. Tumbled up really nice. You can even see some shine on it, see? I'm pretty sure this was iron. Another item from a yoke. I think it's an item from a yoke. It was found with the yokes. I don't know if I actually talked about it in my wrap-up, but it's lovely looking, isn't it? Really beautiful styling. Little square nuts, they're fused right on there. That's pretty cool. Okay. Alright. Aha! What are those? There's a shoe for you. Nice ox shoe. Wow, that had a lot of rust on it. Wow, it came out really nice. It's almost smooth to the touch. Look at that. That's great. When that dries up, I'm gonna put some of that Renaissance wax on it. Look at the nails, they're still in there. You could probably slip some of them out. Look at that. I don't know, with the nail still being in there, when that came out of that thing's foot, that must have really hurt. Poor creature. That's lovely. Alright, the ox shoe came out, looking good. What else we got? Nope, I think it's time to dump this sucker. There's more stuff in there. Alright. Not too many coins. And of course, none of the old coins. I'm not going to put old coins through here. You remember yesterday when I found the harness, the buried harness, and then the yokes. It all started with this one little piece. This lovely little brass ring, which was given off a gorgeous high tone. It had a little loop of leather, one rivet, and this was the thing that clued me in, because when I dug this, I thought it was going to be something really good, because it had such a beautiful, pure, sweet, high tone. What else we got in there? Oh, the keyhole escutcheon. It does kind of look like it. Yeah, that is a skeleton key faceplate. I think Tracy was right. Yeah, I think she was right. Well, of course she's right. She knows what she's talking about. That's nice. A lot of corrosion on that one, huh? I don't know if you remember this, but at the end of episode 11, when we were going through Tracy's finds, she had what she described as a spout. It was like a tube that went like this. And along with her finds was another piece that almost looked like it attached. It was also a tube that sort of ended in a little bulb with holes in it. And we couldn't figure out what it was. Well, she did some research. It turns out it's a feminine hygiene product. She dated it. She knows it comes from 1865 approximately. So it's the nozzle to a douche from the 1860s. Which, at first we were all laughing about it. But then again, thinking about it, it's a window into life in the 1860s. I mean, those people were just people. They had the same problems we have now. They had the same issues we have now. The thing seems to be made of lead, so that can't be too good. But, people did everything with lead in those days. Alright, let's see if there's anything else interesting in here. I don't want to waste your time. Let's see. There's my nice little horse ring. Very pretty. Yeah, maybe two in here, actually. Maybe another horse ring in there. Came out nice. Looks good. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little intermission. And I will see you on the next one.